This footage is from the last day of the beta. This is after over 24 hours of playtime. I thought it would be a really good idea to show off a bit of what the game is like after you're already established, and to kind of explain my thoughts on the whole beta experience. Obviously, there are people who got much further into the game than I did, but I like to take my time when really enjoying an open world game. I love this game. It feels right up my alley. It's such a unique experience, and it's exactly the kind of survival MMO that people have been wanting for. This is what people wanted Fallout 76 to be, this is what people wanted the day before to be. Once Human is such a perfect combination of things from other different games that I like, while also feeling unique enough to not fully feel like any of them. Crafting, base building, third person, looter shooter, post apocalyptic survival, MMORPG with an interesting story to boot. MMOs, and survival games even more, often get accused of having very samey styles to their worlds. And it feels so refreshing to have a game that tries and succeeds at being original. The world is so interesting and beautiful. It's also massive and filled with handcrafted content. The overarching gameplay loop involves going into an area, activating four things called Rift Anchors, while also doing the story missions, and then fighting the boss for that area. After which, you can catch him and move on to the next area. Each area is filled with so much more than that, though. Hidden across each zones are handcrafted puzzles and unique mini-bosses for you to find. This makes just traveling down the road interesting, since at any point you could stumble on one of these randomly. Obviously, with this being a beta, the game was unfinished in places. The dialogue and voice acting come to mind first. In fact, I didn't know this until much later, but the game has a voiced protagonist. This whole time my character was supposed to be saying things, and I didn't know that until I reached a new area and was surprised to suddenly hear my character talking. The enemy AI isn't great either, with them having quite clunky reactions to you. You can argue it's fine for zombies to be like this, but when you encounter human enemies, and sometimes even bosses, it becomes clear that some of it still needs more polish work. Not all the translations are finished either. There are places where you still see Chinese instead of English. Even in this video, the boss I'm gonna fight at the end didn't have any music in its first stage. You ever fought a boss without music? It's weird. Another complaint that I have is that for some reason you can't repair the gear you find. Only crafted gear can be repaired. I guess this is meant for gear you loot from other players or something. But stuff like that SMG that I got in the last video, and this hood that I'm wearing here, I got it from killing a mini-boss. I like items that I get as drops and random finds more than stuff that I craft, and I really feel like you should be able to repair them. I'm optimistic that all these things that I mentioned will be finished by launch. That said, I am worried, with the launch being just a few weeks away, that they might not have time to get it all done. Even if these problems are still there though, I think the game is well worth playing. There is one last thing that I have concerns over. The game is going to be free to play, and as the old saying goes, nothing is more expensive than free. There was no monetization in the beta, so we really have no way of knowing for sure what it will be like. I've heard different things, but it sounds like there will be a battle pass with both a paid and free tier, and possibly an optional subscription with in-game benefits. I'm hoping this doesn't veer too hard into pay to win, and from what a leak I've seen, it looks like the battle pass will be cosmetic focused. I really hope this is the case because I love this game and I want to love it for a long time. That was great. Harvest seed. Ooh.